Y'all, this quarantine got me struggling. If you're watching, hello. Welcome to the Bio Foster Mom channel. I also have a Facebook page and an Instagram, and now I have a YouTube channel. So I have been wanting to make this video for weeks now, and I kept finding reasons not to. Like first, I had an infection in my mouth, and then I had a bit of acne, and then everything happened with this lockdown, and I just couldn't motivate myself to do it, I guess. And I kept thinking, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow came and I wouldn't do it. And then I would again think, oh, I'll do it the next day. And the next day would come and I wouldn't do it. YouTube was not my first choice, considering I have a stutter. And YouTube videos involve a lot of talking, obviously. And my stutter is something I'm very insecure about, and I wasn't really sure if people would even want to listen or watch a video of a person with a stutter, because, you know, usually when you watch YouTube video, at least YouTube videos I watch, it's really like fast-paced. There's a lot of talking, and I just didn't really see that as being possible for me. And I also have anxiety, so putting myself out there in front of the entire world on the internet, which the entire world is not going to watch this, trust me, but still, putting this out there for anybody on the internet is terrifying, because like people on the internet are mean. So I was scared to start a YouTube channel, and I kept putting it off because I just didn't think I could do it. But I know that the calling I feel to make a YouTube video is not from me, it's from God. And if I just keep ignoring it, then I will be out of God's will, and that's not what I want to do either. So here I am to make a video about my life. So welcome to my very first video. How I became a 21-year-old foster parent. It starts back when I was about 18. Is when I kind of realized that I wanted to be a foster parent. I went to school with this girl, and her mom and dad were becoming foster parents, and she would come to school and she would talk with us about it. And once her parents were finally licensed, she would come to school and she would talk about her foster siblings and their experiences. And I just got really interested in that, and I started to do some research, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. I think this is what I want to do with my life. Like, wow. And it was also around this time I realized I wanted to go to school for social work, which I realize now it wasn't that I wanted to go to school for social work. It was just that I wanted to help foster kids and work in foster care in any way I could. And I thought that being a social worker and being a foster parent was the best way to do that. But I'm now realizing that to be the best foster mom that I want to be, it means not having a job. So I have put social work and my education on hold for now, so that I can focus on my life as a foster mom, because that is the calling that God has put on my life, and I don't really want to ignore it any longer. So anyways, so once I was 18, I realized I wanted to be a foster parent, and you legally in the state of Ohio cannot be a foster parent until you are 21 years old. So I had a few years to think about it. I was also in high school, had no house, worked at Bob Evans, you know. So it was not like I could have been a foster parent anyways at that time. So I got married, I bought a house, and my husband felt that he wanted to have a baby first before becoming foster parents, or before adopting or anything like that. And I understood. So we got pregnant. I was 19. We had the baby a little after my 20th birthday, and initially we thought we were gonna wait a few years to become foster parents till our little boy was able to like have a conversation with us and he was able to talk and stuff. But that kind of got pushed to the side because when Atticus was about 9 or 10 months old, we realized that foster care is now and we're not going to wait any longer. So we started the process in November of 2018, and we got licensed in April of 2019. And while all this was happening, I decided to join a mentorship program called the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, and it's where you as an adult are matched with an at-risk youth to mentor them and to be their friend and have a relationship with them and give them guidance. And it was with our local residential treatment center here in my town. And the boy that I ended up getting matched with was in foster care. And let's call him Max. Okay, so Max was 12, and he was the most adorable little 12-year-old boy you've ever seen. And I was instantly just in love with this kid. Like, he was great, right? Like, he's a 12-year-old kid, and to me, he was perfect. Like, he was funny, he was smart, he was sweet. Like, you can't get any better than that, right? That's what I thought. And I'll admit, I was very naive about foster care and about the kids in foster care at this time. So while we were in the process of getting our foster license, my 12-year-old boy, Max, asked me to adopt him. And I almost cried, like, right there in front of him. And I went home and I told my husband, and he's like, "You want to adopt a 12-year-old? And I was like, no, you're right. That's insane. That's crazy. We can adopt a 12-year-old. I'm 21 years old. Well, the longer that we talked about it and the longer that it worked with this boy, we realized that we wanted to adopt him. So the month that we got licensed, we started having weekend overnight visits with him. He would come and he'd stay over for the weekend, and he fit in with our family perfectly. Like, he was our kid. He was great. Everybody loved him. Our little boy loved him. He was perfect, right? So we also found out that Max had a little sister named Ruby. Yeah, we're doing Max and Ruby here. So he had a little sister. She was 11, and he was in another home a couple hours away. And we decided to adopt her as well because he loved his little sister. He wanted a home with his little sister. Him and her had been in foster care for 3 years. They had been separated for about a year, and he really missed his little sister. So we met his little sister, and she was the cutest. Like we were instantly obsessed. And so he moved in May, and she moved in the next month. And everything was great, honestly. Like I went from being a mom of a baby to a mom of a 11 and 12-year-old, and he turned 13 in our house. And as weird as our family looked from the outside, it just worked. It worked in our household. I was mom, my husband was dad, And that's just how it was. Like, it wasn't weird after a while. Like, it was our normal, and it wasn't a big deal. And then after a couple months of them living with us, Max had an incident. We were warned about some of the behaviors that he had, but we were naive and we didn't take them seriously, which as a new foster parent you're likely to do. And since we didn't take them seriously, we didn't put the measures in place to keep things from happening again. So we gave him like an Xbox, and we gave him a cell phone with unlimited internet access and messaging and everything else. We were naive. And the incident that he had was one that we could not just overlook. It was one that could potentially make our house unsafe for our other kids and other foster kids. And unfortunately, we could no longer have him in our house safely. And we were devastated. Like, I cried my eyes out. He cried his eyes out. It's 6 months later and I cry about him at least once a week. He went back in his residential home, and he is receiving a lot of help and therapy for his issues that he has. And we visit with him. He comes over once a week. He goes to church with us. He is a part of our family forever, but not the way that we wish he would have been. So now he has to go into another adoptive home eventually after he finishes his treatment program. After his treatment home, he will be put back in foster care, hopefully in an adoptive home, hopefully local, but maybe not. It could be hours away, or it could be our next door neighbor. Like, we really don't know. Everything is kind of up in the air right now. We don't really know what's going to happen to him. And it hurts, and it sucks. We still have Ruby. We're in the process of adopting her. Him and her just really weren't able to live with each other anymore since he had his behaviors, and she wanted to stay with us. So we still have her, and we're in the process of adopting. We are probably a few months away from adopting her, and that's really exciting for us. However, it is really hard knowing that he's not going to be there, and we won't be adopting him too. And that's been really hard for me to come to terms with, especially because I'm the more emotional one in our marriage and I get more attached. So anyways, becoming a foster parent at 21 was crazy. I wasn't prepared. Everything I thought I knew about foster care, I didn't. However, it really is a calling from God. Like, I am here for a reason. I'm a foster parent for a reason. And I will be a foster parent for a long time. So in my marriage, I am the more like emotional, head in the clouds, I want to do everything and help everyone. And my husband is more of like a rock. He is the more rational, reasonable one, but don't tell him I said that because I'm perfectly rational. And it really helps with a situation like ours, because with me, I want to help them all, even if I'm not really the best person to help them. And so my husband is able to rationalize with me and say, hey, it's not a good fit. This isn't right for us. And that's been a hard thing for me to accept, that I can't help them all and I'm not the right mom for all the kids in foster care, because there are a lot of them, and you hear their hurt, and you hear about all of their experiences, and it breaks your heart, and I cry about it a lot. If we get a referral for a foster kid and it doesn't work out and we don't get them, I bawl my eyes out, because I just instantly fall in love with these kids. And for my husband, it's not exactly like that. So he doesn't quite understand sometimes the way I am, but he appreciates it, and he knows that I am like this for a reason. So yeah, that is how I became a 21-year-old foster parent. I'm now 22, and we've been doing this for 1 year exactly, as of this month. And we have had one other set of foster kids. They were a couple little boys, and the one little boy did not live with us for very long. He stayed with us for a week, and then he needed a lot of help, and he ended up in a residential home as well. However, our other little boy, he was with us for about a month and a half, and he was great. We all loved him. It really hurt when he left. He was hilarious. He was smart. He was witty. He was a good kid. So now we haven't had a placement in about a month and a half to 2 months. And I'm kind of struggling with that, because I just want to help all the kids, which means if my home is empty, I feel like I'm not doing enough. The room I'm filming in right now is the room for foster kids that we have, and it's empty, and it kind of hurts my feelings. And I wait every minute of every day for a phone call, and I've gotten one, and it didn't work out. And it was like it was a perfect phone call for the ages and everything, and I got really excited, which again, I need to stop getting my hopes up. And it didn't work out, and I was upset and I cried, so that was cool. But yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed hearing about our foster care experience as of now. If you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments. I will be glad to answer them. If you have any suggestions on what you want me to film next, you can leave that in the comments. If you want to follow me on social media, here is my Instagram and my Facebook. You can find me on there. I make lots of posts on there, and I hope to make weekly YouTube videos. However, I am a mom, and we are in an epidemic, which means my kids are home 24/7, and it's a little hard to get the motivation to make YouTube videos right now, if you know what I mean. So yeah, thank you for listening. I hope that you all are safe and happy and healthy through all of this, and I'll keep you in my prayers. See you later, guys.